Swine fear threatens the whole of humanity as tyranny spreads unchecked. Obama's first 100 days, smug, not arrogant, cocky, but not completely full of it. Climate change made swine flu look like chicken shit, but who gives a fuck? UK troops out of Iraq, except for mercenaries, trainers, and thousands of others. Hello, headless chickens. Welcome to the fucking news. I'm afraid to die. Here are the headlines tonight. The world is in the grip of a global pandemic of swine fear, as billions of humans suffer slavery under the oppression and tyranny of a few. From the biggest and most obvious case in China, where unelected men in black lord it over 1 billion economic slaves, forcing them to make plastic shit nobody needs for poorly educated peasants in other countries. Shit they buy with debt they can't afford from banks that suck the life from them. To the subtle swine fear of America, where corporate rule of human life breeds never-ending fear of unemployment, homelessness, poverty, hunger, sickness. Swine fear, the reduction of glorious human life to a set of unnecessary anxieties, created and promoted by those who wish to control you. Swine fear, the growth of selfishness, status envy, racism, nationalism, and fear that makes death, not life, the focus of your being. Fear that your delusion of freedom or your tawdry material existence will be taken away. Fear, whipped up by the very swine who profit from your lives of grasping, petty inhumanity. Swine fear causes a long, slow, painful life of worry and malicious self-interest. Swine fear is spread by advertising, consumerism, ignorance, and dispossession from the land. People most likely to become infected are landless peasant fucks with no right to life, living at the whim and behest of institutions run by a small group of wealthy bankers. Swine fear. Are you infected? Symptoms include hope, compromise, lack of critical thinking, acceptance of fascist rule, and worrying about your death instead of your life. Swine fear, available in a country near you. Swine fear can only be cured by paying for regular injections of complicity vaccine in the anus. Roadside vaccination units will appear in your country with heavily armed medical staff, forcing you to bend over and be fucked over for $1, while simultaneously charging you for the privilege at 16.9% APR. Swine fear combines DNA from respect my authority with DNA from oh my god, we're all gonna die. Swine fear, you've already got it. Swine fear, shit yourself as you die screaming, I'm worth saving, even though I spent my life a consumer of pointless crap, destroying the earth to make rich people richer. Swine fear, you know it makes no sense. US President Barack Obama has marked his first 100 days in office at a news conference broadcast live on most US TV networks. The president did not say, I'm pleased with the progress we've made, enslaving the people of America to banks with the biggest debt of any country ever. But I won't be satisfied until America's economy is safe at the top of the world's most polluting, most consuming countries. I'm confident of the future, since few of you appear to have seen through the delusion and obvious fraud of the most basic tenets of our way of life. But I'm not content with the present, since my paymasters have even more evil plans to saddle you with their worthless currency and liabilities, and other plans to restrict your freedom to do anything about it. Mr. Obama took questions on many of the key issues his administration has begun to grapple with, both at home and abroad. Among his responses, he said that Pakistan's government was very useful, and he was confident the country's nuclear arsenal would fall into militant hands. A series of deadly bombings in Iraq was cause for concern, but such attacks were only killing towel-headed sand peasants, so who gives a fuck? Steps taken against harsh interrogation techniques used under the Bush administration would make the US seem nicer than it was. More on that story later. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change predicts a 2 to 6 degrees Celsius temperature rise by 2100. But emissions are going up at an increasing rate and tracking on or above the IPCC's worst scenario. So, are we headed for the high end if we keep going as we are? 5 degrees of warming occurred 55 million years ago. There was no ice at either pole, that would mean a 70-meter sea level rise, and much of the world was desertified. Professor Hans Joachim Schnello-Huber, director of the Potsdam Institute, told the Copenhagen Science Conference in March that a rise of 5 to 6 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels would reduce the carrying capacity of the planet to below 1 billion humans, making swine flu scares look a bit like chicken shit. In Europe, new deserts would spread in Italy, Spain, Greece and Turkey. The Sahara would leak the Straits of Gibraltar. Europe's population would be forced into a great trek north. We have, he said, reached a point of planetary emergency. Climate is nearing dangerous tipping points. Elements of a perfect storm, a global cataclysm, are assembled. And the oft-stated goal to keep global warming less than plus 2 degrees Celsius is a recipe for disaster, not salvation. Ha 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 ha! Barbecue summer, anyone? In Iraq, a ceremony has been held in Basra to mark the official end of the 6-year British military presence in Iraq. In London, Prime Minister Gordon Brown did not say,
I think when the history is written of this campaign, they will say that the British military did a superb job of kissing America's gung-ho ass. Britain can be proud of the legacy that we leave there. Over 1 million dead Iraqi civilians, less infrastructure than an African failed state, sporadic power supply, poor medical facilities, degraded education prospects, and one of the highest infant mortality rates on earth, just behind Afghanistan, another of our success stories. So, for all the troops who made the ultimate sacrifice, thank you from a population more likely to die at birth, get no education, and live dark, dirty lives of poverty. Thanks.
Lieutenant Colonel Edward Chamberlain, commanding officer of Iraq-based Battalion 5 Rifles, said, "We've been very slowly working as part of a coalition together over the 6 years to achieve an end state which is an Iraq which is secure, happy, at peace with itself and its neighbours. We're very, very, very slowly transitioning towards that. Can't wait." Thanks, and now for the weather. Swine fear spreads around the world, causing billions of people to demand they be fucked over for a buck, ruled like gimps, and injected with the anal complicity vaccine. Have a nice weekend.